Yeah, so I think that the Orthodox take on this is covered in, for example, Vladimir Lossky's book Dogmatic Theology, where he has about 5 pages on the realms that the angels exist and inhabit. It's called the Aeon. So God created a timeless realm that's created. It's called the Aeon, A-I-O-N. And the angels existed in that realm, and that realm is not necessarily heaven. It's a created, timeless realm. The angels are in communion with God still, but it's not like everybody was in heaven and then suddenly they sinned. Rather, there's different realms, there's different worlds, there's different spiritual realities. The angels inhabit that aeon or that noetic realm. And Lossky points out, again, driving this from the Eastern Fathers, that the angels sinned out of time. Since they were in a timeless aeon, when they sinned, they forever sealed their decision in that one timeless decision. Since we're beings that are created, our hypostases are created, we will end time. And since we will end time, there is a fluctuating, constant sort of making this decision, that decision, this decision, that decision. We are not beings out of time. We're beings in time. So our testing is different. It's over a lifetime versus the testing of the angels, which was in an instant because they were timeless. That's the Orthodox view. So it has nothing to do with angels sinning in heaven. It has to do with the exegesis of the passages of Genesis 1 and 2, Genesis 1, 1 and 2, where most of the Eastern Church Fathers talk about that's when God created the angelic realm. So the angelic realm is not necessarily God's throne, although the angels had access to God's throne. But there's still a created realm for created beings. And so that was the realm in which it was possible for the devil to lead this rebellion and to sin against God. And then God allowed the devil to test man in the garden. So it has a lot to do with angelology that's very different. Augustine has a different view of the garden and of the fall and of the creation of the world than anyone else. He's not an evolutionist, obviously, but he's also not a six-day creationist. Augustine, because he was still under the influence of Neoplatonism, especially if you read Confessions, has this idea that the world and reality and all that was created instantaneously. And part of the reason he believes this is because he believes in absolute divine simplicity. If you read Confessions, and Dr. Bradshaw has a really good critique of Augustine's doctrine of creation via Confessions, Augustine has to say that creation is instantaneous because God's absolutely simple. And for God to do a bunch of different acts or works would mean that he's in some way composed or undergoes change. So it's his doctrine of Neoplatonic simplicity that conditions his idea that creation was instantaneous. And the same thing would then affect his idea of how Satan fell. I don't remember what his account of Satan's fall is. But he's, clearly confused in Confessions, and Bradshaw has a really good critique of the overall divine simplicity presentation in Augustine's Confession. So that would be the angle that I would critique it from. I don't know that there's some immediate doctrine of Satan's willing or the fall of the angels that necessarily disproves Calvinism. I mean, there could be. Maybe I just haven't thought about it, but that would be my answer to that.